Hi everybody. Our group's assessment was the Career Maturity Inventory. In this presentation, we'll just discuss the various components such as what the Career Maturity Inventory is, the theoretical framework and the assessment development, various facts about the inventory, appropriate populations, credentials needed in order to administer the assessment, as well as the scoring method and client interpretation. What is the Career Maturity Inventory? Career maturity defines itself as the extent to which an individual has acquired the necessary knowledge and skills to make intelligent, realistic career choices. This brings us to the Career Maturity Inventory, also known as the CMI. The CMI is a standardized measure designed to assess the process of how adolescents and adults approach career development tasks. It was developed by John Kreitz in 1960, where it was previously known as the Vocational Development Inventory, and as well as the first paper and pencil measure of vocational development. It became the CMI in 1973 and was enhanced to include career planning competencies, including knowledge of self as well as the working world. And as you can see, there are 4 levels of career maturity assessed within the inventory: concern, control, curiosity, and confidence. And each of those are assessed to create one total score. Higher CMI scores classify individuals with mature career decision making approaches, which results in readiness to make informed career choices. John Kreitz developed this assessment in the 1960s based off Donald Super's career developmental theory, which enhances various factors related to realistic career choices and processes. The original CMI assessed 5 competencies: self appraisal, occupational information, goal selection, planning, and problem solving, as well as 5 attitudes: decisiveness, involvement, independence, orientation, and compromise. Kreitz wanted to distinguish between consistency of vocational choice and wisdom of development between one's career choice and one's interests, abilities, and experience. So he revised the CMI in 1973 to include an attitude scale of 50 true false items and a competence test consisting of 100 items divided into 5 parts. In 1995, the CMI ended up dividing these 5 competencies into broader ranges measuring competence, attitudes, and career maturity totals because the previous scale showed low reliabilities of measures when it assessed. And here are a few facts regarding the recent updates and cultural issues. I won't read through them. You guys can kind of look through that. And that brings us to the appropriate population for use. The appropriate population for this assessment is adolescents and adults. When the inventory was first created, it was focused on adolescents, preferably 6th to 12th graders. However, studies have shown that CMI scores increase throughout adolescence and into adulthood, and as the result of interventions as well. So recently, the concept of career maturity has expanded and renamed career adaptability to include adult career concerns. When Kreitz revised the CMI in 1995, he did focus on strengthening its practical relevance, updating standardization samples, and minimizing cultural bias within the content of the CMI. With that, several items were modified or deleted. They shortened the administration time, increased content relevance to the adults, collapsed the subscales into broader dimensions. They produced a companion guide to enhance counseling applications, and they also improved the scoring options for the assessment. So all these played a factor in opening the assessment up to include adult clientele. And then for the facilitator credentials needed, really, this can be available to anyone online. However, one should meet with a certified licensed counselor who has education and experience administering the CMI to gain successful interpretive results and move forward in making logical career goals. And this is just an example of the career maturity inventory. There's 24 questions, and the format is based on the client agreeing or disagreeing with the question content. And then, so here's the scoring key at the top of the page. Each question is associated with either the concern, curiosity, confidence, or consultation scale, and it shows whether the client agreed or disagreed with the question content. And then it also, down at the bottom, it shows the scales of the concern, curiosity, confidence, and consultation, and gives you an example of like what it measures. And here is what the career maturity inventory actually scores you on. There are a total of 5 scores. There's the career readiness score, which is based on the 18 questions developed from the confidence, concern, and curiosity scales, as well as each individual score from the 4 scales. So a total of that will give you the assessment total for the career maturity inventory. And then at the bottom, this is how you kind of interpret with the client. And then for any client scoring low in any of these scales, there are specific career development interventions that may serve useful to them, such as the 3-step cycle. And this includes the non-directive exploration, directive shaping, and active learning. In non-directive exploration, you practice with open-ended questions, reflection of content and feeling, therapeutic silence, and clarifying questions. With directive shaping, you may practice persuasion, storytelling, and reinforcement with the client. With active learning, you may practice behavioral modeling, assigning homework, role-playing, and providing feedback to the client. And all these interventions are examples of how to achieve success in the lower scored areas so that they can potentially progress towards better career maturity. And here we have Alex and Taylor going to do a video demonstration of their assessment results. So here we go.
Okay, so Alex, it's nice to meet you
nice
again.
Nice to meet you too, yeah.
I know last time I saw you, we had you complete the career maturity inventory. And you came back with your results, so I'm super excited to go over those.
Yeah, I'm really interested to see what I
too.
got.
So tell me more about, what went on while you were taking those.
Yeah, I think some of the questions were really easy to answer off the bat, and then some other ones kind of, I guess, made me think a little bit more, if that makes sense. And I was kind of contemplating, whether I agreed with it or disagreed. I wish there was kind of a middle ground where it was a little bit in between.
Yeah.
But overall, I think, I understood the questions very well, and it kind of gave me some insight, but I'm, intrigued to see kind of what you say about my responses.
Yeah, okay, well, that's good to hear. So I'm not sure if we went over this previously, however, your career maturity scoring key, so there's a total of 5 scores.
Okay.
So we have a career readiness score, and that's based on your confidence score, the concern, and the curiosity, all of the scores that you got from those specific questions. And then in addition to that, there's the basic concern, curiosity, confidence, and consultation.
Okay.
So out of the 24 questions, each of those 4 categories, they're split up into 6 different questions.
Okay.
And so for the concern part, that kind of measured, how you, if you're in the process of making career decisions yet, or concerned with doing so.
Right.
And so in that area, those 6 questions, you got a 6 out of 6.
Oh, okay.
So that's good.
Yeah.
And so kind of interpreting that, it kind of means that, you're not very concerned with making career decision process. So can you tell me more about that? Do you already have a career that you want to partake in? Or?
Yeah, so I'm actually going to be graduating in May with my degree, and so I feel prepared that I have the tools to, be able to seek out a job after graduation, which I'm excited about. So I'm not too concerned with finding one. I do think I have other concerns with knowing, what each job would entail depending on, well, I'm going to be a school counselor. That's what I'm going for. I think I just have different ideas of, different roles that could be depending on age level. So I'm not really concerned with getting a job. I'm pretty confident in that aspect, if that makes sense.
Yeah. So that kind of and goes along with, say, I'm going to pull one of these questions from the concern area. So question 21, it says, I really can't find any work that has much appeal to me. And you disagreed with that, which is good.
Yeah.
That means that you can find work that does appeal to you.
Yeah.
So in this case, would you say that school counseling is one of those work areas that appeals to you?
Yeah, I definitely know, within school counseling, that's what I really want to do. There's kind of different areas you could pick from, within the degree that I'm in. But I knew that was, where I felt comfortable, and it's kind of just, something I've always wanted to do.
Yeah, that's good. So you think in regard to the concern aspect, do you think those results really highlighted how you truly
since I got a 6 out of 6, right? Yeah, I think that pretty much accurately represents kind of how I'm feeling. So,
all right, so we're going to move on to the curiosity.
Okay.
This one you didn't score as high as the concern, but you did score 4 out of the 6.
Okay.
And so for the curiosity, this one kind of measures if you're exploring the world of work and seeking more information about more occupations.
Yeah.
And so I know you mentioned high school counseling.
Right.
But obviously you're more curious into some other things.
Right.
And so I'm going to talk about the 2 that you kind of scored the opposite on.
Okay.
So for number 2, it says, when it comes to choosing a career, I will ask other people to help me. And you, I'm sorry, that's not number 2. For number 2, you said, I know very little about the requirements of jobs. And you agreed with that.
Right.
do you believe that's true?
So with that one, it was I went a little bit back and forth. The reason why I said that I agreed with that was because I feel like, I know a little bit, like what the jobs entailed, based on my internships and that kind of experience, but I haven't been, full time in a position of a school counselor yet. So I know there's probably some requirements and some rules that like I have no idea about, that I don't know that I would be doing it. So that's why I kind of felt like, I might not know all the full of responsibilities of certain jobs.
Yeah.
So.
And I think that for her school counseling, there's, even for any other like professional job, you're always needing to increase your professional development and grow on your skills and techniques and stuff. But that's something that's always changing.
Right.
And so even somebody that might be in a position that's been in the position you are longer, they still might not know everything.
Yeah, that's true.
But so what I'm hearing is really you just need more experience and more time in that position to feel like you know the valuable.
That's exactly it.
Cool. So on to number 18, which you also scored opposite on. This one says, I don't know whether my occupational plans are realistic. And you agreed with that. So what makes you think that you don't know if they're realistic?
I think with that, I kind of answer that way because I kind of go back and forth because I think I'm going to have a hard time being a school counselor and kind of being financially stable like down the road. And so I know, sometimes you have to get maybe a second job depending on it. I mean, I don't know what's going to happen to me 5 to 10 years down the road, but I don't know, having a school counselor position, depending on county and stuff, I'm like, I don't know if I'm going to be able to make enough money to support, say, a family down the road.
Yeah.
So I don't know if it's realistic for me just to have one job down the road. I mean, I know right now it'd be fine, but down the road, I'm like, I don't know. So then I'm like, well, I need to get another job to be able to fully support myself down the road. So that's why I don't know if it's realistic to have one job at this point. I don't know.
So you're
kind of all over the place, but
so when you choose not realistic, you're looking into the future.
Yeah, that's kind of yeah.
Gotcha. Okay. And that's something that you could work on and work with in the future when you reach that point to where like you're not sure if you should move forward with this, or if it's continuing to be something that you think is realistic or is not. That's something that I feel like you might have to face, when the time comes.
Yeah, definitely, because I don't know like where I'll be living, and there's so many different things that go into it. I feel like. So.
Yeah, definitely, I totally understand. So for the third to last one, or second to last one, there's confidence, and this one you scored a 3 out of 6. So this one was your lowest score actually. And so for your confidence, that kind of tells me, you don't have faith in your ability to make wise career decisions. So I'm going to read one of those questions. So for number 3, it says, I have so many interests that it is hard to choose just one occupation. And you agreed with that. And I feel like, that's something that's normal. Everybody has a lot of interests. I love being a school counselor, but I truly love cats. So, my thing is I would want to work with cats, but to me, that's not a realistic job, So for you, tell me more about that.
Yeah, so I think especially going back to, like, undergrad when I was, we didn't have, like, a school counseling, bachelor's degree, but I did something else, and I kind of went back and forth because I really enjoy like criminal justice and that kind of thing, and forensics and all, that side of stuff. So I enjoyed that, but then like, now I'm in school counseling and like I love it, and I don't see myself doing anything else at this point, because I really enjoy it. But like you were talking about, I do have other interests, within like criminal justice and fashion merchandising. So, and they're all kind of over the place. So I don't know if that's something down the road, and maybe things can just become hobbies, like within those realms. You know what I mean? But right now, school counseling is my main focus.
Okay, that definitely makes sense. That, like you said, hobbies, that's a good idea too. And then I know, like, say you enjoy school counseling for the rest of your life. When you retire, you might turn to those other interests. So we're going to move to the last one.
Okay.
This one was consultation. You scored pretty high on this one, a 5 out of 6. And consultation is just where, if you seek consultation for career help, which you're doing so right now, so that's a plus. So for number 12, we're talking the question says, when it comes to choosing a career, I will ask other people to help me. And you disagreed with that. So tell me more about that. Do you typically not ask people for help?
So I think sometimes when you ask people for help, like I enjoy other people's opinions and how they feel about what I'm doing, especially like close friends and family. But I do think sometimes other people's opinions can sway what I end up doing. And I think in the past I've kind of struggled with maybe making decisions because of other people's opinions that maybe I wouldn't have made otherwise if I, didn't seek out other people's opinions. So I think if it's a decision I'm really, really struggling with, I think it's good to reach out. But other than that, I think it's something, especially with my career, it's like so personal. Is it like okay if I kind of make those decisions myself, you think?
Yeah, I mean, I think everybody has, it's okay to seek help, of course, but everybody wants to make decisions on their own as well. Some people seek help more than others. Yeah. But some people like that aspect of being independent and being able to make their own decisions.
Okay, that makes me feel better.
Yeah, of course. But again, when you need that help, it's okay to ask. But when you don't want to ask, that's totally okay too.
Okay.
So how was this interpretation of your results?
I think it really helped me kind of better understand like my overall state like right now, especially moving towards graduation. There's going to be a lot of changes coming up with searching for jobs and stuff like that. So I think it helps me, and I think when I am getting closer to like picking out certain jobs, like when I know where I'll be living and stuff, I think it'd be really helpful for me to come back and see you and maybe dive deeper into it.
Yeah, I would love that. I'm really glad that this was a great experience for you, and I'm glad you're able to, become more aware of where you're at right now and where you might want to be in the future. And I'd be so happy to have you back here.
Okay, awesome.
Nice meeting you. Thank you.
Yeah.
Okay, so
And this is just an example of our brochure that we created. It just gives a brief overview of all the components that we did our research on and looked at for the Career Maturity Inventory. And it has the different components: the framework assessment development, the scoring method and client interpretation, appropriate population for use, facilitator credentials needed, and then our references. I hope you guys enjoyed our presentation, and we can't wait to view everyone else's. Have a great day.